That was Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full. I was watching The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne. Got happy birthday to my brother Charlamagne. And he was on with Pete Buttigieg, a dude who I think is a bright young man. And he was asking him, Charlamagne was asking him why he doesn't, why he couldn't say that America was racist. Because I don't, from my frat brother Jim Clyburn to Kamala to almost any politician, I don't care what side of the aisle they come on, they will not say it. And to be fair, America has made a ton of progress, a lot, but not all that it needs to. And even if you look at the progress that she has made, it has always been as fast and as far as the powerful white men in charge decide it should go. Why are we arguing? Why does another group of men and women get to decide what this other group of men and women can participate in, or how far their rights extend? If I get to decide how you can vote, where you live, then you still, by definition, I am superior to you, and that's the problem. If you get to decide you don't want to hear about race, that's a problem. Not only that you get to decide it, but you get to manifest itself in other people's lives. Trying to pretend and move on from racism without addressing the underlying issues is as foolish as trying to get a prescription without a diagnosis. You want to say we move on and you don't want to hear about it, but the very thing that slavery did for us, which is take our right to express ourselves as human, is something you are trying to do. Yeah, you have the right to vote, but not in perpetuity. And your right depends on who and what is in power at the time that law comes up. It has to be voted over. Who has to vote on people's humanity? Who has to vote on how far it is? Who has to vote on things like whether these sentencing guidelines are racist or not? Who has to do it? People who haven't ever dissipated the problem. Yes, we're freer, but we're still as free as you decide we are. Yes, we have advantages, but those advantages only extend as far as you say so. You get to decide who are the power brokers. You get to decide who can vote and what precincts and how they matter. You decided, and you tell us that means we're equal, and you say we should be grateful for that. How is it that we're equal when another man decides exactly what that means? One man, one vote, nobody's above the law, but people get to decide those things. And those decisions are made based on the worth of that human being, based on what they decide that human being is valued at. We have made tremendous strides, not as far as fast as we'd like to, because still it is governed by men and women who decide what equality looks like. You can only learn from your past if you look at it. America has never really reconciled itself with the fact that it's done some heinous things. It's done some horrible things. And it's done some things that I think are progressive. But until you decide that you're going to look at the things and all you've done, and stop telling me, well, I didn't have anything to do with it. You don't say that when it gives you an advantage. You don't say it when it gives you power that you didn't earn. It was an inheritance America's gotten. And if you were one side of it, you got the inheritance. If you were the other side, you got the stick. Yes, we have gone far. But even right now today, you are people who are arguing with us about how woke and how aware we need to be. Like being aware like NBC has a slogan called "The More You Know." I guess other people know the more you don't. I don't want you to know, because then you'll know how patently unfair this is, how unequitable it is, how unreasonable it is. We have gone far. Much farther than our forefathers probably want. Like they say dumb stuff like the arc of justice bends slowly. Even that is predicated on how fast they think it should move. Don't tell me we're not a racist country when right now men and women are deciding what other men and women, how much power they have and how much of a right to vote they have and where they should live and what that means. If you're making all the decisions, you don't get to then decide that everything's fair. We are a nation of a group of men and women who decide how far other men and women can go in the America they call equal. That's a little note from the GED section. We've got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.